Hi there, very good morning and welcome to this Thursday's edition of Newspresso live here on Moneycontrol. I'm Stacey Pereira, and as the drill goes, in the next few minutes we're going to be giving you a lowdown of all the top stories from across the globe, insights into India, those crucial political developments that are taking place, as well as the latest trends, of course, which will give you an edge and keep you informed ahead of the others. So let's get straight to it and bring you all that we're getting from our global dispatch. Well, it seems like those major averages on Wall Street are curtailing their monthly losses in the late August hot streak, we could call that, which we are witnessing in the markets. The S&P 500 advanced for the fourth straight day as investors are assessing that new U.S. economic data. Now, the Dow Jones too closed just a little bit in the green, whereas tech-heavy Nasdaq gained about 0.5 percentage point in trade. Nvidia, that one continues to rise, as well as Apple's shares have added about 2% in trade after the announcement of that September 12th event, in which the Apple iPhone 15 is likely to be unveiled. Now, if you look at the macros, we also had disappointing payroll data where private employers added just about 177,000 jobs in August, which is well below that revised July number of 371,000. Now, if you look at the GDP, those estimates too were revised downwards. This is the second day where investors are appearing to treat weaker than expected economic data as good news for the markets, more so as it sparks hope among traders that the Federal Reserve could lighten its policy stance owing to this data. And talking about those macro cues, yes, the United States second quarter GDP growth was revised downward from its initial estimate of 2.4% to 2.1% annualized, according to the Bureau of Economic Analysis. Now, this brings the Q2 growth rate to about 2% seen in Q1 of 2023. Now, the downward revision mostly reflects lower estimates for corporate expenditure, which is partially offset by the upward revision for the state and local government spendings. Now, the U.S. government said that in a drop from its earlier estimate that the economy grew up about 2.1% at annual pace from April to June, demonstrating a sustained resilience in the face of increasing borrowing costs for individual as well as companies. Now, the decrease in exports, residential fixed investments, as well as private inventory investments, among the other factors, are likely to have hurt that growth momentum in the United States. And European stocks, those ones closed slightly lower on Wednesday as investors are reacting to that economic data from Germany as well as Spain. The Pan-European Stock 600 index ended just down about 0.2%, pairing its earlier gains. Sectors and major bourses, all of them traded in a mixed range. On the macro front, like I was talking about, Spain reported a flash inflation up by about 2.6% year-on-year for the month of August, whereas Germany reported a 13.2% drop in its imports for the year in the month of July, the sharpest drop it has seen since January of 1987. Now, in stock-specific action, we saw Italian fashion retailer Brunello Cucinelli, which topped the Stock 600 index, and the company's share were up more than 6% after reporting a strong sales number, while shares of delivery hero dropped more than 7% as it reported more losses in this quarter. A look at how Asian markets are faring this morning. Well, most indices are largely in the positive territory, but we have some of them which are lagging behind this as they are reacting to China's factory activity, which has contracted for the fifth straight month in August. Now, the official Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index, or PMI as we know it, has come in at 49.7, which is a softer rate compared to the contraction that we've been seeing of 49.4 that was expected. Now, Hong Kong's Hang Seng is the one reacting. That index popped by about 0.8% when it opened. Mainland Chinese indices are also trying to break away from that negative but are trading with slight marginal gains. Japan's Nikkei 225 has advanced by about 0.5 percentage point on the back of those positive retail sales data that we got out of Japan. Whereas if you look at South Korea's Kospi, that one is trading much in the red as industrial production there has slid to 8% on a year-on-year basis in the month of July, marking it its 10th straight month of contraction. While if you look at Australia, indices are trading a bit higher but are on track to be paced for their fourth straight day of gains. Commodities, let's take a quick check at that, where oil prices did gain overnight as the US government data showed that tighter than expected crude supplies. This even as concerns about the Chinese economy limited those gains. Now, Brent crude futures for the October series rose about 37 cents to settle at $85.86 per barrel. Now, the October contract really expires on Thursday, that is today, and more active November contract was up by about 33 cents at $85.21 per barrel. Now, both these benchmarks have rallied more than $1 as the US dollar weakened after that soft jobs data, reducing the likelihood of further interest rate hikes. And now in an interesting turn of events where Google's cloud conference, which was taking place in San Francisco on August 29, saw a random protest erupt after the tech giant against the tech giant for its contract with the Israeli government. This was in order of it providing its cloud services to the government. Now, the American tech major has contract is to provide its cloud services for Israel's public sector as well as its military. And those who are protesting are part of their No Tech for Apartheid campaign, which is a coalition with the former and current Google employees. Remember, Project Nimbus was launched in 2021 and is a $1.2 billion contract that Google and Amazon Web Services have entered with the Israeli government. Now, protesters are concerned that Google's assistance in technology will aid the Israeli Defense Forces in surveillance activity, which will then help it racially segregate the Palestinians. And we are seeing nature's fury at its worst, one could say, where Hurricane Idalia, which has made its landfall in America's Florida, it is the strongest hurricane to have made a landfall in the region in more than 125 years. Now, the storm has already caused much flooding in coastal areas and has over a lakh of people left without electricity. Now, traffic jams and in fact traffic cameras have shown how flooded Florida's interstate highway over the Tampa Bay has now submerged in water, drawing strength from the Gulf of Mexico's warm water. Idalia unleashed a destructive wind as well as torrential downpours that has caused a severe flooding till it finally came to a landfall around 7:45 a.m. EDT. Now, this, remember, is the fourth major hurricane to strike Florida in the past 7 years. And let's give you a quick recap highlighting all those trading actions from yesterday here on Dalal Street, where we did see the Sensex and Nifty both failing to hold on to those gains as we saw financial stocks really take a sharp fall. The Nifty Sensex as well as ended in the flat, while the Bank Nifty, that one languished, ending about half a percentage point lower. But we saw the broader indices, those one continue to hit records, the mid-cap outperforming major indices and soaring about half a percentage point to hit those new highs. If you look at sectorally, IT stocks were the ones that led from the front, and among the stocks that you need to be keeping out on your radar today, well, Rail Vikas Nigam should be one of them. Zomato, after that other second block deal that it saw, Mahindra Logistics, Natco Pharma are going to be the ones likely buzzing in trade today. Interestingly, well, the Gift Nifty Derivatives Index, that one also recorded a record single-day turnover of close to $13 billion, this on August 29. Now, the index also set a record for the highest single-day trading activity of over 3.36 lakh contracts that took place on August 29th. And to all the corporate action, where Walmart-backed PhonePay has announced that it has entered into the stockbroking market. Yes, the company launched its app called Share.Market under its subsidiary PhonePay Wealth Broking. The app will provide a large spectrum of investment services, including stocks, mutual funds, ETFs, in their wealth basket. Remember, in 2022, PhonePay was the one who acquired two wealth tech platforms called Wealth Desk as well as OpenQ, both valued at about $70 million. This acquisition was part of PhonePay's ongoing expansion into the financial services beyond its payment business. And back in 2021 is when PhonePay began the process of entering India's competitive stockbroking business and was awaiting a license from SEBI for the same.
Super excited because we always said send, spend, manage and grow. The four journeys of relationship a consumer has with money. The send, spend and manage part of it we've already solved for on PhonePay. Consumer lending being one missing piece, but we'll get there soon. But when it came to actually growing your wealth, we felt that the experiences needed to actually have a winning product required us to have another app, and here we are with Shared Market. I'm extremely bullish that with Ujjwal and Sujit and team, we have the winning combination of entrepreneurial talent and IP that we can develop around and differentiate ourselves over the next few years.
Well, that was the CEO, Samir Nigam, talking to our sister affiliate channel, but all about what really Shared Market will be offering, especially in a competitive market where you have the Zerodhas, Grow, Upstock, all of them competing for that market share. Well, let's move on then into what we're seeing in the political front, where leaders of the opposition India Bloc will be convening today in Mumbai for their two-day conference, which will take place on August 31st and September 1st. Now, they are expected to make some crucial announcements, including the coordination committee and who all will be part of it. An alliance logo is what we're expecting, as well as plans for a common agenda and a joint protest, and as well as what will be their seat-sharing arrangement. Now, along with India's meeting, we are also going to see the three parties involved in the Maharashtra government, which will also hold a simultaneous meeting. They will be discussing the election strategy as well as seat sharing strategy for Maharashtra, because that election comes pretty much after the local general elections of 2024. Now, we are also expecting leaders to arrive and start arriving in Mumbai by 10 a.m. and there's a lot of bandobast that is being done for the same. Leaders like MK Stalin, Akhilesh Yadav, Rahul and Sonia Gandhi, as well as Arvind Kejriwal, all of them will be in attendance. But today evening will be an informal meeting at about 6 p.m. is what we're being told. And post that, there will be a dinner which will be hosted by Uddhav Thackeray. Tomorrow is when the formal meetings will take place. And to all that's making a buzz, whether it's on social media and otherwise, yes, we did see Chess World Cup 2023 runner-up, that is Pragananda, who was given a rousing reception upon his arrival at the airport in Chennai yesterday. Tamil Nadu's Chief Minister MK Stalin also went on to meet him and greet the teenager at his family at his residence. Remember, Pragananda was awarded with a check of about 30 lakh rupees as well as a memento for his breakthrough show in the World Cup. Remember, Mahindra Group too has decided to gift Pragananda, his parents really, an all-electric SUV in order to honor his accomplishments. Reacting to the gesture, Pragananda said that it was his long-term dream of his parents to in fact own an electric car, which is now being fulfilled by the Mahindra Group. And an extraordinary super blue moon was what illuminated the night skies last night. If you did get a chance to see it, this celestial phenomenon that will now only take place next in 2037. If you got a chance to go out and see that super blue moon. Now, what is all of this about? Well, a supermoon is the one that occurs when the moon's orbit brings it close to the Earth precisely at the moment of its fullness. And a blue moon is the one defined as the second full moon in a single calendar month, or the third full moon within a season featuring 4 full moons. And this together, both these phenomena, when it comes together, is what is called a super blue moon. Now, the actual hue of the moon itself is not going to turn blue, and if you were expecting that, sorry to disappoint you, but the title merely reflects its exceptional occurrence. And this time around in August, we got to see 2 super moons in a rare phenomenon this year, making it really a once in a blue moon occurrence. A wrap, and hope this dose of Newspresso was useful, informative and gave you that kick start to your day. Don't forget to come back here tomorrow, same place, same time, for your fresh shot of Newspresso. From all of us that put this show together, thanks so much for tuning in.
How do world leaders view India?
I've long believed that the relationship between the United States and India is will be one of the defining relationships of the 21st century.
The bright spot of the global economy.
The growth rate for India, which is 6.8 in 2022. Let's not forget, this is one of the bright spots in the global economy right now, such a high growth rate.
The potential of India is enormous. And you have now a reformer, a radical reformer, who has the ability to transform it.
on the verge of a big transformation.
इस अमृत काल में हमारे संकल्पों की सिद्धि हमें आजादी के 100 वर्ष तक ले जाएगी.
A magnet for investment.
I'm actually incredibly excited about the future of India. I think India has more promise than any large country in the world.
The world is bullish on India. Moneycontrol is bullish on India. Join the campaign. Tweet to us with hashtag MC Bullish on India.